Hi, this is Degé with the Patient Advocacy Network at cannabissaveslives.org with your next episode of the Compassion Flower Report. At the end of our last report, I kind of mentioned that I would be doing a short video that is not necessarily about all the different news headlines, although I am going to just share a few headlines, not the full story. Talk about two things today that I want to share with you. One is this issue of medical cannabis patients and guns. And just to share with you some of the headlines that just came up in the last few days, this headline says, pick one, medical marijuana or firearms. This headline says in some states, medical marijuana users must choose between, and I'm sure it's between, marijuana and guns. Federal law says medical marijuana users can't buy guns. This is something that the Patient Advocacy Network is going to be really taking up heavy nationally this upcoming year. It is ridiculous that otherwise law-abiding citizens cannot protect their home, their property, their business, their family. This is the government basically saying, if you are using cannabis to decrease your pain and suffering, to alleviate symptoms from serious illnesses, that you either deserve to be a victim of a crime because you're not allowed to defend yourself, your home, or your family, or you deserve to be a victim of the criminal justice system. And it is absolutely unacceptable. So I want you all to know that is definitely something that the Patient Advocacy Network is going to be looking at next year. If you notice that these headlines, none of them say adult recreational users are subject to this. If you use or buy alcohol, that's completely acceptable for you to be able to be a gun owner. But if you are a medical marijuana patient, you are not allowed to possess a firearm in the United States of America, and I'm not putting up with it. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is where we're headed in the state of California with amending Prop 64 and making it so that, patients have affordable access and that those businesses who want to serve patients have a much easier, more reasonable time being able to afford taking care of patients. Now, I've spent quite a bit of time on PAN's social media interacting with people about this, and I'm going to admit I am really disappointed in the attitude from people here in California. Right, this is supposed to be the social experiment. This is supposed to be a state where there's this great activism. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of what I really hear is a lot of pissing and moaning from people about moving forward here. There are people who are just straight up pessimistic. Oh, we got what we got, and we just have to deal with it. And then there are people who think we're just gonna put a voter initiative and change it that way. Okay, California just had a record-breaking election with respect to voter turnout. It is now going to take, to do a regular initiative, okay, it's going to take around 900,000, I've got the numbers written on another desk, but it's going to take about 900,000 raw signatures to get an initiative on the ballot. And one of the things we've been talking about in the medical cannabis world is getting a constitutional amendment on the ballot just to protect patients. That's going to take around 1.3 million raw signatures to do that now. So I know people with this think we're just going to wipe Prop 64 clean and we're going to start all over. Unfortunately, all the people I hear saying that have never been able to get 2 pennies together to do any voter initiative, let alone be able to get something on the ballot. So while I know that's what people want to do, it ain't gonna happen, okay? So the most effective thing we can do to help patients right now is make sure that the rules we have on the books now work. If in the future it becomes absolutely necessary to have a complete repeal and replace, I'm all for that. But that's not realistically going to happen. And so right now we might as well take a look at the law we have, amend it, and get in that chamber and become an active part of that political process, which is going to be a lot more affordable than getting a voter initiative on the ballot right now. So it is time for everyone to stop the whining and the crying, and it's time to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do what we know how to do out here in California, which is to get active, get vocal, and get in their face. And that means we have to change laws. And if that means that people need to lose their job and we need to get the right people elected and in the right seats, then that's what we do. Okay? So everybody, I want you to get active. It's time to stay active. It's time to take action. And I know that there are a lot of people out there, they're benefiting from this chaos. Okay? They've got their own little underground market going on. That's one reason why some people are like, hey, I'm cool. I got my little underground business. I don't need to fix the laws. Unfortunately, I have talked to dozens and dozens of patients who are no longer using licensed retail outlets because it's not affordable, and they're not complaining about it. Okay, they're not coming to me as they were 12 years ago going, Degé, I don't want to buy my medical cannabis in the parking lot of a grocery store. I like being able to go into a location and see the menu and look at the prices and make some choices and have a conversation. Well, whatever the unregulated market is doing to keep its customers happy, those customers are happy. So you guys, this is an uphill battle. California absolutely deserves the best cannabis laws in the country. It is our number one cash crop. It has been for a very long time. It's going to continue to be so. But we should have the most reasonable and sensible laws in the country, and we don't. We have far from it. So again, that's something else that patient advocacy is going to be working on. Whether anybody else decides to get up off their butts and do it, I'm going to do it for the patients, because somebody's got to do it for the patients instead of whining and crying and coming up with ideas that are impossible at this point to make happen. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Again, like, subscribe, share this video, become a supporter of the Patient Advocacy Network. It'd be great to have much more support than we have in order to do this very important work in Congress and in Sacramento. So I look forward to that. I also want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. My schedule is getting incredibly busy. I don't know if I'll be able to do any more reports for the rest of this year. If something really important and breaking happens, I certainly am going to try. But of course, down below, you'll see all the links to our other social media. We have a blog, we have a website, we have Twitter, we're on Facebook. We're very easy to get a hold of. So I appreciate your support. We're at CannabisSavesLives.org. Make an end of the year donation. Patient Advocacy Network is a charitable 501c3. Your support is always tax deductible. And for those of you out there who could use an end of the year tax deduction, we certainly appreciate the help to get us a really strong leg up in 2019. Merry Christmas, and thank you from the Patient Advocacy Network. This is Degé with another edition of the Compassion Flower Report. Thank you very much.